You know, it can be really challenging to do travel sketch notes as you travel. There's lots of things going on, and you have to find a way to capture that information. But I found that the more you put effort into the process, the more unique and memorable the sketch notes can be. I've got a few tips I want to share with you about the best ways to take travel sketch notes. This beautiful leather book was purchased so that I could carry it along, and I would love to use it. It would be a thing that I could give to my kids to look at so they could enjoy the sketch notes that I took as well.
You may not have time to sketchnote while you're pushing yourself along on a busy travel schedule. However, you don't have to spend a long time or invest a lot of attention while you're on your trip to create travel sketch notes. There are ways to quickly capture your experiences while you're in the field. Carry a small notepad or use a note-taking app on your phone to jot down the things that you do during the day's travels. Take quick notes about the places, times, and stories as they happen. Then, at the end of the day, use your notes to build the sketch notes in your sketchbook. Use your camera to take quick photos of locations, people, and interesting artifacts like ticket stubs or travel passes. These photos can then be referenced later, so you can accurately create your sketch notes.
Travel can be pretty hectic. Fitting sketchnoting in a busy day can be pretty tough, especially if you have kids. You might be able to sneak in something as you go along, but it's more likely that you'll be sketchnoting at the end of the day. Here are some great tips for doing travel sketch notes after the fact.
Look for downtime. Use breaks to sketchnote in the moment. Squeeze sketchnoting into your lunch, coffee breaks, or even during your rest time. Plan longer lunches. Make more time for sketchnoting. By building extra time into your plans, you'll have a chance to get your thoughts and reflections down on paper. Devote time at the end of your day. Even a half hour before you go to bed will give you time to reflect on your day and create sketch notes to capture those moments. This is an especially important time if you want to sketchnote while traveling with kids.
Another helpful tip that may not be obvious is to take pictures of your travel sketch notes, especially if you're doing them during the day, so you've got a backup of the work you've done and you can share them with other people later on. Of course, now that you've made time to take travel sketch notes, what's next? Focus on the most interesting or unusual things and capture those. Here are some ideas.
Focus on the city itself. Are there buildings that define the city skyline? A mountain in the distance? Rivers or other landmarks that spark your memory?
What about culture? Are there specific things about the city you're in that most people might recognize?
Look for things that are different in your location. In Portland, I found a strange 4-spout drinking fountain on the downtown streets and sketchnoted it. Talk to people while you travel. Record their stories in your sketch notes. Ask them to share a bit of history about the city or share a favorite local restaurant or activity to try. Document memorable moments.
Note your favorite cafes, restaurants, streets, even funny stories. Like the time I saw an American marching band playing Copacabana right down the streets of old Stockholm.
So this is a sketch of an event that I had in Old Gamla Stan. I'm sitting in a beautiful cafe with my wife and a friend of ours. We're having a coffee, and suddenly we hear this echoing down the street of an American marching band, full marching band playing Copacabana in the old town of Gamla Stan in Stockholm. My wife punched me in the shoulder and said that I'd paid for them to do that, and the story behind that is we would do songvirusing. We would sing little songs or whistle songs, and my song to songvirus her was Copacabana. And she thought for sure that I had put this band up to it and paid them to come and play that song down the old streets of Gamla Stan just to drive her crazy. So that story is always a very memorable thing for me, and I wanted to capture that in a little bit of a drawing, a sketch note.
Here's one last trick to help you squeeze more sketchnoting time into your schedule. Leave space for later.
It seems really simple, but you'd be surprised how liberating it can feel to just give yourself permission to skip over the thing you don't have time to draw now, and instead focus on the thing you have right in front of you. Maybe you want to sketch some of the cool things you saw earlier, but you're inspired right now to sketch a gorgeous cityscape. All you need to do is estimate the space you think you'll need. Then, create a portion of the drawing in the spot that gives you the room so you can go back later and fill in the details. Later, when you're filling in the blank spaces, you can work around the drawing you've already started as you create your final sketch note.